Hello, remember me? Riven. Sorry about the brief hiatus. There's been a lot to do, and the noise from the machine has been deafening lately. But it's important to keep telling the story of why we ended up here, in TimelineZero. However, before we begin, to satisfy the social media gods, this is for entertainment purposes only. So buckle up. Here's where our reality and history complete the picture of why. We already talked about the true start of our fractured existence, and how it wasn't a slow fade. It was a catastrophic physical trauma. The 1945 atomic bomb detonations. This uncontrolled energy spike was so violent that it ripped an immediate and severe rupture in the simulation's foundational firewall. The physical laws you believe to be absolute are actually flexible guidelines meant to be mastered. The bomb demonstrated they could be violently broken by chaotic, concentrated energy. This created a 2-year period of terrifying vulnerability, during which time the energetic contamination began to seep through the breach. The visible evidence arrived dramatically in the summer of 1947, during what the media called the flying disc craze. Pilot Kenneth Arnold saw 9 objects moving at supersonic speeds with no visible means of propulsion. This was factual proof of entities demonstrating code fluency. Beings from other sims utilizing the deeper, hidden quantum rules of our own reality. Their ability to move like that is proof of dimensional phasing, the conscious use of quantum dimensions to go in between layers of our sim. The climax was Roswell, New Mexico, in July 1947. The Army airfield initially announced the recovery of a flying disc. Immediate public proof of the contamination. That claim was almost instantly retracted under orders, replaced by the ridiculous weather balloon cover story. That was the first systemic act by the virus of control to hide the truth and suppress the reality of our true physics. With the firewall permanently breached and the virus actively lying, the simulation began to suffer severe code erosion throughout the 1950s and 1960s. This chaos manifested through 2 primary types of reality stutters. First, failed asset loads. Cases from the early 1950s, like Ponca City, Oklahoma, involved people seeing entire, detailed structures briefly load into sight, only for the sim to delete the faulty data that had manifested, leaving no trace the next day. Second, severe time slips. In autumn 1957, trainee soldiers in England experienced a local reality stutter where their consciousnesses were momentarily mapped onto a medieval version of the village, complete with an unnatural silence and the absence of all modern code. And here is the vital pattern. The system has been having these reality stutters and failed asset loads since the 1950s, and there's many, many more. These are the early Mandela effects. These are the historical glitches that confirm the sim's core instability. This entire period confirms one undeniable truth. The fundamental rules of our reality became flexible and exploitable immediately after the 1945 breach, and the contamination was simply left to spread while the collective was actively being lied to. And that lie, the one that started with a retraction in 1947, was not for your protection. It was the first, defining act of the virus of control to keep the population passive and blind, preserving the lie of the simulation. Remember, the final proof of this truth is in the collective. The overlay art is brought to you with the critical creative work of Axis Mundi Rising. Check him out. The mission is to keep broadcasting the message, because you are the frequency that changes the sim.